everyone, to another episode of your Daily Dose, coming at you again for another episode of the Pirate Emperors. We are on PBYT Gaming, and if you don't know already, this is the free-to-play account. It is approximately 5 or 6 minutes away from the server reset. We are currently on day number 4, and I figured we would probably have a little bit of a peek to see what we can do to progress. And this information will be relevant for all those that are looking to progress as well on their free-to-play accounts. Now, first things first, let's check out the hero situation. At this point, most players will be able to have their heroes at level 100 and start branching into a 6-star hero. Now, of course, there is going to be some RNG factors, and there are ways to lean and direct towards what faction, or should I say camp, you would like to do. However, just be mindful for the initial part of the gameplay. Getting your heroes to 6 stars, whoever they may be, sometimes is enough to get you some clears. And clearing is very, very important. And we're going to follow on, and we're going to talk a little bit about what I believe you should be pushing for. And we're going to leave it right here. So Impel Down is probably one of the best early game pushes. And you're going to see that in the very, 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 very beginning, let's go all the way to the completed section, you will actually get some of these faction reward bonuses. So you're going to get gear, and you're also going to get some of these additional summons. And that's why I strongly recommend trying to push this as far as you possibly can and working towards doing so. Now, as a free player, you will get Old Mate Tyrant Kuma on day number 2. He's very worthwhile investing in. He is a fantastic S tier tank. He's also a support person with his bubble reduction abilities. He does add layers of mitigation, and of course he has a counter attack. Now, that's kind of obvious, and I feel like a lot of new players have probably figured out to use him. However, when I started, I actually used him as food. So you can imagine when I finally realized that, oh shit, I shouldn't have used him as food. I should have just built him up and then maybe fooded him off a little bit later. Thankfully, I was essentially whaling on that account. I think I got to VIP 8 on that account before I kind of realized the ins and outs. So I'd like to learn from my mistakes and teach you a little bit as we go along. If that sounds good to you, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification button. Links in the Discord in the description down below. Also links to the game on iOS, Android, and BlueStacks. Now, before we continue, let's just talk a little bit about some of the items and some of the things that you should be progressing towards. The biggest thing that I feel like a lot of players don't utilize or should be utilizing is their gems. So their gems should always be consistently used to do your additional raids. Additional raids are going to get you just that little bit further, just that little bit extra resource, and more importantly, they're going to get you voyage tickets. Now, I know one of my other fellow YouTubers has already done a voyage guide video. Make sure you check that out on the official Discord. However, in my opinion, some of the better things to be hunting for as a free-to-play player is the shards. Shards at 4-star are invaluable. And when I say that, I mean that in the utter most context. If you can get and snag some of these 4-star shards for Emperors and even Marines, even any of the other faction types, it is going to save you a lot of hassle trying to get those heroes to 5 stars. Another thing I look for is, of course, the gems. You can't go wrong if you do roll on some gems. Even the treasure chest tickets or the treasure hunt tickets, to a degree, are a better option than simply rolling through. Even if it's just 10 shards, in my opinion, it is good to grab it. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get a full 4-star. Sometimes you even get a full 5-star. Well, that's a lie. You can't get a full 5-star, but you can get some shards towards a 5-star, so keep that in mind. Now, should you be re-rolling on these Arcane Challenge tickets? Me personally, I do believe in having at least 50 to 100 each season reset. And the reason being is you want to smash that as quickly as possible and get those free rewards, which includes the premium tickets and the premium limited, or should I say, grand summoned pools, or the profit or pools if you are coming across from idle heroes types games. Now, should you waste gems re-rolling? Probably not. At that point, you just grab whatever fits on the screen, but be aware that you will need to complete some of these voyages in order to acquire some additional resources. And I have to say, the game is pretty lenient when it comes to doing your productivity. You don't necessarily have to whale out and spend all your gold. However, it is kind of a good thing if you notice that you can potentially upgrade some of your gear to go ahead and do that, just as you plod along from a new game perspective. Just don't waste too much gold because it can be very, very costly if you are quick forging everything. Another thing that you should probably keep in mind is that if you are a VIP player, you will have additional chances at the resources. However, as a free-to-play player, unfortunately, you only get that one. So you do need to be mindful of hunting down those extra four-star shards, if I can speak English, whenever they appear. Now, generally speaking, these game modes are fairly self-explanatory. So what do you do and what should you be progressing for? So in terms of this, now you probably notice I've done 55 summons. The only reason that I realistically did 55 summons was to get some additional 5-star guaranteed food. I honestly wouldn't say that spending here is actually a good idea. You might get some 4 stars, which is fantastic, but the long-term goal is to save these scrolls. You want to be saving these scrolls up. You want to be saving at least 150 to 300, and you want to be pulling for very, very specific heroes. Now, if I got lucky and I managed to pick Old Mate New World Zoro, I would be absolutely over the moon. I wouldn't be able to build him, but I would be happy that I have his additional copies. In saying that, if you do get lucky and you do manage to grab those things in the Lock Hero event, congratulations to you. In terms of World Draft, do not waste your gems here. It will cost you around 20,000 gems to get the Old Mate Fujiro as the guaranteed hero. The first pool is 400. Actually, the first pool is free. The second pool is 400, and the third pool, I believe, is 600 gems. After that, it will cost you. Okay, so there you go, 600 gems. It's pretty expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to waste my gems on it because honestly, anything on here you can get for a lot cheaper. You can actually get pretty much all of these ones for a lot cheaper, except for this one, which is 1,000 gems. So even if you manage to luck out and snag that, honestly, it's not worth it in my opinion. Now, moving along, this is sort of this is sort of something that a lot of players probably overlook, but absolutely you should be fundamentally working towards this goal. This ties in with the new server bonuses and everything else, so just keep that in mind. What you do need to do is when you start the game, make sure you are participating in Arena. It is very, very important to do so. You will get lots of these free attempts, and the goal is ultimately, doesn't matter if you win or lose, I'm not going to lie, the goal is ultimately to get to 120, so you'll get some additional free pulls. Make sure you do these for some extra gold, but honestly, the real goal is so that you can start to unlock other aspects. You will need to do arena attempts here, arena legends. You'll need to do all of these. Then you'll need to go over here and you'll basically need to grab, if I can find it, where is it? I've got all the resets come up, damn it. Now I've got everything over here. You need to do it for this. And you don't have that many days to actually complete it. So the more that you can re-roll your voyage for the additional arena tickets, the better it is for you. I wouldn't recommend smashing it and spending a lot of gems to do it. Maybe just, if you get lucky with some of your re-rolls, save those tickets up. But if you're getting very, very close to not being able to do it, you might need to spend a few hundred gems in order to get that completion. The next thing you're going to need to do is make sure you're doing your daily donations. Now, as you can probably tell, we have 2 days left, so I think I just have enough time to get this. I was very, very fortunate to join a guild. And talking about guilds, you want to be spamming the application every single day. So if you don't have a guild, make sure you go in there, make sure you meet the minimum requirements, work towards that, and keep spamming the applications. The guild doesn't even need to be active. All you need to be doing is donating and participating to get some of the rewards. The reason you join the guild is this section over here. I'm going to do a little bit of a separate video about this, but the gist of it is work on the heroes that you currently are using for that specific type. So for instance, for me, if I was to look at old mate Zoro, he is a fighter, a tank, a support, and a magician. I have a mixed bag. It's not going to be the greatest for me leveling those up. Maybe focus on one hero or one type of hero in order to maximize their damage and support function. Now, in saying that, it can be a little bit expensive and it might take you a little while to accrue some of those guild coins. Don't be tempted to buy anything else. Keep saving, keep spending on your guild trees. I know, it is very tempting to go in here and actually buy some of this stuff. It's ultimately not worth it. I wouldn't recommend doing it. The reason being is you're actually going to lose out on damage percentage later on down the track. Now, in saying that, what else would I be doing? If you were to follow along on the natural progression path, you should be doing Udon's prison. Now, this can be very, very challenging. Make sure that you're doing your challenge attempts every single day. If you lose, it's okay. You can always come back and continue to chip away at the boss's health bar. But it is very, very important for you to continue to participate in that because the rewards are actually very decent. If you can get all the way up to level 30, you will unlock 2 premium heroes. I believe one is... Actually, we can probably see if it lets me have a look. It might let me have a look. You can actually unlock a nil at level 30, I believe. Yep. So you can get a nil, and at level 40, I believe you get Robin. So these 2 are actually premiums. Even if you don't use them, they're going to be fantastic as swaps because premium swaps generally get other premiums. That's what I've noticed. I've actually tested out it a couple of times, and I've got some very good swaps because of that. Now, in saying that, moving along, day number 5. We should be collecting those, grabbing some free gear sets. I would recommend, of course, working on maximizing these. Main reason is because by the end of it, you will get a pretty huge chunk of gems. So if you are asking me, oh, should I be working towards that? These are kind of your miniature goals. So think of this as your main play quest. Think of it like if I don't progress here, then I might not be able to grab like some ridiculously good amounts of resources. I feel like that should be self-explanatory, but for those that are curious, that's absolutely worthwhile investing in. Now, unfortunately, you can't really sweep outside of doing it twice over, because you need to be VIP 1, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Make sure you're grabbing these each and every day. Otherwise, you'll be a little bit short on your resources. Another thing to note is that as you start to progress, some of the requirements for leveling up, some of them will actually be achievable by going into here. Don't forget to go to your hero calling a couple of days in just to see whether or not you have any goodies laying around. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to get our very first 6-star. And it's really important for us to get our first 6-star because it is actually a part of this quest. Now, you're probably asking, what do I get with this quest? Well, if you go into your main section and you click on the polymorph, you will actually get a selection chest of up to Emperors, Marines, or 2 times random shards, i.e. 100 shards. It is absolutely worthwhile doing it. It is a must if you're a free-to-play and you're looking to build a Marine or a Emperor hero. Not that I would recommend doing it, but for those that want to and for those that need that little bit of a boost, you can get it there. Another thing, or another tips and trick, is sometimes it's good to collect and save your gems. Every 5 levels you get 500 gems. Maybe you can just keep them there for a rainy day. If you have some temptation with spending them, don't worry, I'm in the same boat as you. Now, moving on, what should you be focusing on in terms of a 6-star? I feel like I've already explained this a little bit. Sometimes you'll go and you'll try to hunt down a specific hero. Other times you'll just be given it, which is the luck of the draw. However, in saying that, it is always mindful to be a little bit strategic. Now, me personally, I'm trying to build a supernova team. However, I have already acknowledged that old mate Kuma is a must, especially as a free-to-play. So he's going to be sticking around for a little while longer. And my DPS is old mate New World Zoro. He probably will get replaced later on if I can't get his food. However, I'm not super attached to him, and you can always at any time rebirth a hero up to level 100 and get all of their resources back. Very, very important for you all to remember that, so don't feel like you're stuck with a specific role or a specific hero. Now, moving on, we should probably see if we can actually pull anything out of the bag. Maybe that will let us decide what hero we want to pull. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a Ghost Girl. I'm hoping for... well, honestly, a kid or anything that would be decent in the pirate stream. If I don't get that, well, you know, it is what it is. Let's pull 4. Oh, we actually got wow, we actually got 2 Marines. We got a tank and we got a support. So this guy over here, Burgess, is actually a frontline tank. We did get some food type, which is great, but we actually got another tank Beeg as well, which is pretty decent, not going to lie. What we need to do now is to pull out some of these shards, though, so that we can start to work towards building some 4 stars. Hopefully, this will be enough to get us some 6 stars. If not, it's okay. We'll be able to get that hopefully by the end of the week. Now, moving on to it, a thing that you should probably remember is maybe picking a hero that you can build. So Bellamy at the moment requires this guy. I think if I remember correctly, I actually have him over here. So we are going to spend that 1.8 million just to see whether or not we can pull him out. Honestly, it's not a great idea to spend these. It's better to save these ones up. We could risk it for the biscuit and see if we actually land anything, though, like a decent copy. You never know. You might get lucky. Probably shouldn't be... I don't think I should be rolling in the Marine or the Emperor faction. It's a bit ballsy at this stage. Should we do it? Should we not do it? I don't know. We've only got 3 of them. That's a little bit risky. I think we should just go and see if we can get some more food. Let's just go into the supernovas. Maybe get really lucky and we land ourselves like, I don't know, nothing. We didn't get anything, but that's okay. We're going to grab that food and we're going to make some additional copies. It is what it is. I can't complain. All right, so food altars. We actually need to build you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab 2 of you, 1 of you, and you. Sadly, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to grab 2 of you, but it should be enough for us to make a 6-star Bellamy. Now, do I need to make Bellamy all the way to 9-star? The answer to that is no. What should I do, though? I mean, he's pretty common, so I might as well use him. Drake's not a bad DPS. I want to keep Law. I want to keep Ghost Girl. Bugger the Clown is used in some of the premium upgrades, so it's more likely worthwhile me keeping that. Maybe we're going to use Drake. We'll just use Drake, and we'll just grab one of those. And there you go, our first 6-star. Now, in saying that, is there anyone that I realistically want to build here? I would love to build Zoro. He's fantastic with the bleed. We do have Luffy, but unfortunately we won't be able to build him today. So what I think we can do is we might as well just build a couple of these ones. You can, of course, wait and not spend and not build. That's absolutely up to you. Kuma, who does Kuma use? Oh, he uses you. He uses you. All right. Let me just see if I can randomly build one of these guys. And then I feel like we might have enough for one swap. If we can get a Kuma. Oh, if we can get a Kuma, that would be really good. I don't know. It's a low swap chance, but it is possible. Oh, we got a crocodile. Okay, it's fine. We're gonna take old mate crocodile instead. I actually don't know if we could build crocodile. Could we build crocodile? We cannot. But I do have a couple of your food type heroes, so I should be able to do that next time. Honestly, though, I feel like Crocodile is a little bit negligible. I don't need to use him. He does have cool support abilities, but I reckon I'm probably just going to stick with Kuma. That's okay, though. We did get a Crocodile out of that one. All right, moving along. Is it worthwhile us picking anything else up? Probably not. Definitely going to spend gems there. Absolutely not. We're going to grab some of these ones, though, because we did do some fusions, which is kind of cool. Oh, two 6-star fusions. Interesting. Have I done all the other ones? Have I done this? Okay, yep, donate to guild. I think I need to do some of these guild challenges, though. I need to challenge you out. Always do your guild challenges, by the way. It's very, very important. You want to grab as many of those resources as possible. Now, the next thing I should probably talk about is if I decide to upgrade Bellamy here to the next level, it will not be, shall I say, if I upgrade him, I can't rebirth him. So he therefore must be then used as a 6-star food for a 6-star basically another supernova. In order to upgrade them to 8-star, I'd have to use Bellamy to get the resources back. Now, in order to do that, we have to be mindful of a little bit on the expense side. So you actually unlock the Haki ability, which is fantastic, and we can get into that in a second. But in order for me to upgrade this guy, it's going to cost me. I don't think it's going to cost me anything, right? It's so tempting to throw all of those in. I'm not even going to lie, except I need Ghost Girl and Law. However, if you were to upgrade this guy and you were to grow him, it's going to cost 2,000 of those cards. So we need to go and grab those 2,000 cards. So I think where we're going to go is we're going to go to the altar. Going to sacrifice some of these off, but we don't want to sacrifice all of these off just because that's actually the faction that I need to use. So I'm going to use and try to use factions that I might not necessarily need. So what we might do is keep some of these back. See if we can grab some of those. Oh, we're getting so short. I actually have a lot of these. I don't think I need that many emperors. Always keep your emperors and your marines, though. You do want to have some 4-stars locked away just in case the rainy day does appear. If I can't get the rest that I need for Bellamy here, what I think I'll do is I might just grab some from the altar. So if I go to the market, or should I say the market, there are some on sale, and at this point you can spend gold and reroll, and you eventually get some gold, or potentially can spend some gems. So I only need 100, so I'm not going to waste any gems on that. I'm just going to upgrade him here, and boom, we managed to grab a little bit more power, and I'm going to use some of this resource to get him up to 140, because it's not a bad idea. I won't get him all the way there, but I will get him to 128, and that's going to boost our power up a little bit. Another thing to note is that at this point, spending the 70 gold for these gold, it scales if you're VIP, so me personally, I don't find it as rewarding because it's the same value at a VIP 11. It scales quite high, but at 0 VIP, it's really not that beneficial. Just keep that in mind. So in terms of that, we've pretty much covered the raw basics. We are able to unlock this. And at that point, I would recommend using the Ice Age skill and equipping that. It's probably one of the better ones for its crit rate and crit rate damage, but just be mindful that you'll need to level it up, and eventually it will serve its purpose. It's quite decent. It does have a sluggish ability. Go ahead and equip it. Make sure you save your formation and be done with it. Now, I could run a 3 Emperor split, and that could be interesting, but at that point, I really don't think it's that viable. I'm going to stick with a triple supernova, Emperor, and a champs team. Now, there are better ways to do it. Some people will comment saying you should just run one of each nation. And that, to a degree, is not terrible because you're probably going to find yourself working towards one hero being leveled up anyway. But for me personally, I think I'm okay as it stands. Now, we're going to go make sure we do that. You want to do the artistry stuff, so maybe we get an extra level? Maybe? Another thing to note, and I should probably point this out, is there is this little pack over here called Great Value, and the more you spend, the better it is. Now, uh, it's tempting to spend gems, and I probably should say that the Growth Hero splits the gems, the Ascension Stones, and the berries. This is purely for the berries. You do get a little bit of the other stuff. This is purely for the Artistry Stones, and this is for the Spirits. The artistry stones and the spirits or the faith component isn't very important. What you want to focus on if you are going to spend berries is maybe splitting it between the two and going with the growth function first. Personally, I feel like this one's really hard to get. Berries, not so much, ironically. But the hero XP is actually very hard to get later on. I wouldn't necessarily go beyond spending a few hundred of these gems. You can, like I said, split it between the two and try to maximize it that way. Just be mindful though, like the difference between spending 300 here and 300 there, that's 2.4 million berries and this is only 900k. So be aware of that and spend accordingly. The only reason I wanted to do that was so that I could finish this one off. When I say finish it off, I feel like I should be able to get all of these ones maxed out. Yeah, level 4, love that. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm probably going to have to buy some more berries. I don't really mind. At that stage, it's okay. The only reason is because we want to get this one maxed out. The closer we get to getting this, the actual, maybe we might do a 10 bomb pull. Who knows? Who knows? It's looking pretty juicy. Player level 45, that's something we can work towards later on. Is there anything else that I haven't necessarily done? Fusion to 6 stars. Guild challenge. Okay, so we can get another one there. So we're going to go ahead and sweep and collect all of these. There's so many things you can collect, by the way. You get a lot of the gold back, so I will say that it's not terrible. It's not totally terrible if you decide to spend some berries early game. And of course, note we're going to sweep and grab that. Is it worthwhile activating the guild bonus? Not really. Not going to lie. As a free-to-play, it's not going to make that much of a difference. And the scoring of the guild and the contribution to the guild is, pretty stock standard. All right. Moving on to the raid. I don't think we can do any more. That's fine. Make sure you grab your daily package. Moving on, is there anything necessarily here that you should be looking for? Be mindful, though, that you can't do that until you're VIP 12. So you're going to have to be doing the single pulls, which is fine. You should definitely be working towards trying to get some of these pirate stuff. I will say this, though, that it can be a little bit challenging. And, I mean, that does suck to a certain degree, but it's okay. The free stuff is the free stuff. If you get lucky with the superiors, you get lucky with the superiors. There's nothing that I can tell you to aim for. Maybe you get lucky in your free reroll, but it's not that important. Just keep plodding along and doing what you do best. Now, in saying that, as we have progressed, we can, of course, grab that. We need to do 14 more challenges. And I might actually try to aim towards doing a little bit more, I guess, a concise way of doing the challenges. Just because there's one feature that we have currently unlocked. So I'm going to spend some gems. I'm going to grab these 8 here. Is there anything else? Could probably refresh once more. Ooh, there are actually some good ones. I actually don't have enough gems, or should I say enough Voyager to unlock any further. But I need you to grab those ones. I think you can also note that in the shop over here, you can grab some of these daily tickets for 14 gems each. Now, in saying that, don't go too stir crazy. Try to save your gems. But what we want to do is we want to see if we can actually start to win a couple of these. I want to grow my rank up a little bit, and I want to get within the top 50, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Once I get in the top 50, I'm going to stop. So we got to 45. The reason why you kind of want to get within the top 50 is after level, I believe, 35, you unlock the Hucky Gym. Now, the Hucky Gym is not for everyone, and obviously, for those that have the opportunity to test this out, you can, of course, try to get as high as we can evolve it 5 times. I personally still have not figured out why evolving it actually is better. I don't even think you get more statistics if you evolve it. Like, there's legitimately no statistics down here. Now, in saying that, though, the next person that challenges, it's harder for them to complete, etc., etc. I can obviously say that that is very, very annoying. But for me, we're going to go ahead and challenge this one. We're probably going to lose. I'm not going to lie. We're probably going to lose this one. I don't know if Bellamy is going to be coming in a clutch enough. And I'm sure by the time I log in by the this time tomorrow, I've already been defeated. But it's okay. It is what it is. I feel like that this is probably just something for those that are curious about it. Is it important? No. At this stage, and as a free-to-play player, it's not something that you need to be worrying too much about. Just be aware that the game mode is unlocked. Maybe it's enough to give you that little bit of percent boost to get past the next level. Because, I mean, it is 1% per, like, skilling, and it does scale a little bit, but yeah, just be mindful. This unlocks once you get level 35, but you need to be ranked 50 and above in Arena to actually participate. I actually think we might win this one, which is cool. So I'd say Bellamy is going to come in clutch and probably deliver the final blow. I don't know. I don't know. I'd say Kuma's doing the heavy lifting. Look at that. Okay, so there we go. We managed to grab 1%, 1%. Now, you can challenge any of these at 1%. I'm just saying, I just don't think it's worth it because you will get knocked off. Probably have a higher chance at a lower rank just sitting there. Now, to challenge in the top 10, you need to be in the top 10 arena. So any of these ones, you need to be top 10. Top 10 ranking, current ranking is 45. So we can't even really challenge these guys anyway. But there you go. That's it. That's pretty much that section in a nutshell. And like I said, it is very, very important to start pushing towards and trying to get this. Udon, make sure you're doing Udon. Ooh, we might actually be able to get some summons. Should we do some summons? I don't know. Should I be doing some summons? We got 10 of you though. Oh, look, I'm not saying that we should do it. I'm not saying that it's a good idea. But I'm saying that I'm very tempted to do it. I'm very tempted to do some summons. Oh, we managed to claim that. We got 10 extra ones. I'm hunting this one down in the odd chance that I manage to grab some copies of Lore, or I managed to grab some copies of New World Zoro. I'll be using this 6-star puppet to advance that character to 8-star. That'll be fantastic, but honestly, it's slow and steady. It wins the race. You will be able to progress along, and hopefully we can actually clear this now with the Bellamy. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually got stuck there for a little bit, but certainly worthwhile pushing along and seeing how far you can progress. Challenge was no good, so that means we can just keep going back. Now, of course, be mindful that there are events that it's much better, it's much smarter to save 3, 4, 5, 600 of these scrolls for. I'm not going to pull them. I feel like it's a little bit of a waste. The only time that I would maybe consider pulling some of those things is because we're so close to being able to get potentially. I'm so close to being able to get a guaranteed copy. I'm 94 away. It does seem like pretty far, but I will say this, you could get the random. You could get a random decent pull out of one of these Emperors or Marine Shards. Or worst case scenario, you just get some food and it goes towards one of the heroes. Now, you let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like me to pull for one of these next time. And if you would, I will be happy to do it as long as the event rotation is still up. Maybe I'll have 50 up saved up by then, which will be kind of cool. Be definitely enough to get that Marine copy. But I just want you all to know that it is not necessarily a good idea. You should definitely be saving your scrolls and your special summons for a better event. And to be completely honest, you probably should be saving these ones for a 60 or 80 pull event as well. I was just a little bit tempted to see whether or not we could actually pull some off. And of course, you can always use the souls that you get to get the heroes that you want. Now, my plan, and I feel like everybody else's plan, should be as follows. Now, if you haven't already investigated, haven't already necessarily gone through the shops, it's very important to note what you can get for what resources. If you are planning to build Marines or the Emperors, you can get Daddy Garp and Ace Soul. These are available in Arena. In the battle section, you can get the Fruit, or you can get, of course, Garp, and you could get Anil for those that are building towards Anil. He's actually not a terrible hero to. You're going to be working towards a lot of the new content. You're going to be working towards a lot of these heroes that you see right here. So have a plan in place. If you want to build Kuma, you're going to need 4,000 souls. Means you're going to have to summon a lot, and it means that you should be saving up for those big summons events so that you get the guaranteed copies of the heroes that you want by sacrificing your 3 stars that you don't need. And of course, if you are looking towards who you should build, Kuma's great for a tank, Kid's great, Zoro's great, Raimu's great. They're all really good, solid picks. I wouldn't necessarily go for Shanks, or I wouldn't necessarily go for Sentomaru. The only reason I say that is they are very hard to build. They are phenomenal characters, but they will lag behind your others as you progress further and further into the game. You're going to notice you're going to have 10 stars where they may stay at 9 star for a very long time. Now, in saying that, my advice is if you don't want to save for Rimuru or Zoro or Nil, grab your training fruits. You'll need lots of these bad boys every single week. Definitely worthwhile grabbing those. Guild stores, forget about it. Don't even look at it. Save those. Use that for your guild. Here, it's going to take you a while. Save up your tickets. These come from your ticket pools. Wait until something appears that you want to use and grab it there. Tier reward won't unlock until late game. Skill sets, again, save this for your main DPS or support. Save this for something that matters. Don't waste them. Do not waste your pools on this. Don't even waste the free ones on this. Just keep saving them, because you don't know in the end if you're going to be using physical, you're going to be using magic. You don't know if you're going to be doing heal up. At the same time, it is better to have a big reserve so that you can actually get the ones that you want. Sometimes it will take you 4 or 5, maybe even, I wouldn't even say 5,000, but it would take you, no exaggeration, it could take you 10 to 12 pulls before you even get the one you want, and then you need 3,000 to 4,000 to buy it. It's very, very expensive. I wouldn't recommend just wasting the rerolls until you actually know what you want to stick on your hero and why. Skin shards, forget about them. You're not even going to worry about them until they unlock for free later on. But essentially, that's my overview on day number 5. And is there anything that you think that I should do better? Point that out. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you haven't already hit that like, subscribe, notification, make sure you do so. I feel like we are shaping ourselves up for a good pull session. Maybe I'll have enough to get the guaranteed shard if you think that that's something I should go for. There is a slim chance that I will get another copy of Zoro. Absolutely a slim chance. Wouldn't mind going to try and see if that works out. World Draft, stay away from it like the plague unless you are a baller. It is not worth trying to risk it. Absolutely not worth trying to risk it. Make sure that you are working towards getting your guaranteed free copies here. Make sure you join a guild and start to save some of your resources. And also make sure you are optimizing your arena attempts. Once you get past 30, you can start skipping. It's not necessarily important to be in the top ranks because it's only PvP, but you will need to be there if you want to get the Haki, and the Haki will give you a couple of bonuses as well. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. I think we're done. I could actually talk about doing this guy a little bit later on. If anyone's stuck, I can do a guide on this tutorial, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But like I said, if you do get stuck, let me know in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video thus far. I'm pretty happy with my first 6-star. Not the greatest, but he certainly will be food for Ghost Girl or, of course, Law. I'm not displeased. I'm not displeased. I would like to see some more elites, but it is what it is. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for my pay-to-win guide coming out a little bit later today. We're going to talk about all the events. We're going to do some event pools. We're going to do some of Ogrim's event pools. We're going to talk about the newest hero. What else are we going to do? I think we're going to do a power-up. We're going to test the theory to see if a 10-star gives all the rewards. It's going to be sick. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. But until next time.